My name is Mason Gusky, and this is my story. I've realized over the past 20 years of my life that this world has absolutely nothing that will satisfy me and nothing that will make me truly happy. And that is because I am not a part of it, I am simply in it. Growing up, I went to church with my family as a child every single Sunday. It meant nothing to me, however. I just thought it was something that every American family did on their weekend. My first experience of people truly passionate about Jesus Christ was at a Bible camp in my hometown called Spencer Lake Bible Camp. I went to Spencer Lake for 4 summers throughout middle school and the beginning of high school. It became the one week of each year where I was really excited about my Christian faith, but otherwise my beliefs were really insignificant and had absolutely no impact on my life. In middle school, I was teased a lot for my overweight physical appearance. I had very low self-esteem, and as many people can relate to, middle school is just a very difficult time of finding your identity and learning who you are, and so I had a really skewed view of who I was. So in the final months of 8th grade, I decided I was going to change my appearance. I was sick and tired of being harassed, and I thought that if I became more physically pleasing to this world, that I would be happy. So I lost a lot of weight for unhealthy reasons, and I became very materialistic with my image. When I entered high school, boys began to notice me. This was a first. I had never experienced any kind of attention from men before, and I absolutely loved it. I thrived off the attention. The more boys who thought I was attractive, the happier I became. I quickly became obsessed with what others thought of me, and not just men, but female classmates, teachers, and other community members. I tried to do absolutely everything I could to become popular because I loved the attention, and my popularity was where I found my identity. Part of becoming popular for me meant joining the party scene, especially hanging out with upperclassmen. I partied hard on the weekends while still trying to maintain a good reputation with my teachers during the school week. This lifestyle lasted throughout my freshman year of high school. It eventually ended the summer following that year when I got caught by the police and was given an underage drinking ticket. My parents, teachers, and community members finally found out about my destructive lifestyle, and I knew my poor decisions were leading me down the wrong path. A few weeks later was the annual week of summer camp at Spencer Lake. I went with my girlfriends as always. However, going into Spencer, I felt humiliated and I felt ashamed. I felt like I couldn't face God, that there was no way that He could possibly love me and accept me after all the ways that I had wronged Him that past year. However, I was completely wrong. I ended up seeing God in a completely new perspective that week. I learned that He didn't care what I had done over the past year. He still loved me no matter how many sinful decisions I had made. In fact, He sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross for all those nights I had sinned against Him. That week I asked Jesus to come into my life, to take control of my future and make me into the woman that He wanted me to be. Throughout the next 3 years of high school, I still struggled tremendously with the sin of pride. Although I had decided to give up my lifestyle of partying, I still found my identity in my popularity. I thrived off attention and the fact that everyone knew my name. I took all the talents and blessings that God had given and entrusted to me and used them to glorify and exalt myself instead of Him. When I began school at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, everything I'd been living for quickly changed. I went from being the girl that everyone knew to a number in a system that nobody cared about. It wasn't a slap in the face, it was a complete knockout. Everything that I had been finding my identity in began falling apart before my very eyes. I struggled to get the same grades I had received in high school. I was alone without my parents and the comforts of friends and family back at home. My relationship with my boyfriend of 2 years was diminishing fast. I couldn't handle the changes that were taking place. I was depressed and lonely without hope. My relationship with God seemed to be distancing every day. I heard about a group on campus called Campus Crusade for Christ, and since I proclaimed to be a Christian, I figured I might as well get involved. It would probably look good and be a good idea for me. One Thursday night, late in the semester, I heard a talk at Primetime, which is our weekly large group meeting for Campus Crusade for Christ, about being shattered. It was about how sometimes God just needs to shatter us and completely break us down so He can really begin to transform our hearts from the inside out. How sometimes we need to be broken in order to draw near to Christ so we can truly experience His love and glory. It is when we are shattered that we begin to recklessly seek Christ and know Him personally in our lives. The message hit me so strongly, and it just opened my eyes to so much. It was a very real awakening. By finding my identity over the past 3 years and everything besides God, I was basically saying, God, I don't need you to be my rock. I can totally handle this on my own. I understand this life thing. I can figure it out. I'm doing great on my own. But obviously everything I had been living for had failed me miserably. And I couldn't handle the failure. I was hopeless. But God could handle it. He had been waiting the whole time, just waiting for me to ask Him for help. He wanted to provide all things for me, just as He says He will in Matthew chapter 6, verses 33. He wanted to carry my burdens. All I needed to do was draw near to Him. He was saying, Mason, seek me and you will find me. I began surrendering my life to Him. It wasn't easy. Slowly I continued surrendering different parts of my life to Him. The most beautiful part of the surrender, though, was the freedom that I experienced. I no longer had to deal with the stresses of life on my own. The God of the universe, who loves me more than anyone ever has or anyone ever will, He'll deal with them for me. Jesus Christ has radically changed my life. In such a short amount of time, I can humbly and joyfully proclaim that I'm a completely different person than I was just even 1 year ago, solely because of Jesus Christ. My journey of coming to know Jesus has been the most exciting journey of my life. Being able to live in freedom and boundless, merciful love is truly exhilarating. I now live my life to share the love and message of Jesus Christ with others. My identity is no longer found in anything of this world, but in Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I can truly say to you guys that knowing Jesus personally is the most valuable treasure in my life. The deepest desire of my heart is for all people of this world, every tribe, every tongue, every nation, to know and experience a personal relationship with Jesus Christ as well. I want to end my story for you guys by saying that I am by no means a perfect person. Though Jesus has beautifully transformed many corrupt areas of my life, I am still a terrible sinner, broken and wretched, in need of a Savior. I will be until the day I die. But because Jesus is gracious and faithful, I can continue to live joyfully, knowing that He died on the cross for my sins, and my promise awaits me eternally in heaven. Thanks.